moved into this building 2 months ago. A cheap downtown apartment with an old-world charm, but something was wrong. Apartment 3B didn't exist. The numbers skipped from 3A to 3C. At first, I laughed it off, assuming it was just an oversight, a renovation mistake. Until the knocking started. That's when I realized nothing here was quite as it seemed. It was the first time I heard it. Past midnight, the apartment was dead quiet, like the rest of the building had fallen into an eerie sleep. But then, a faint knock. Just a few soft taps from the empty space between 3A and 3C. I pressed my ear against the wall, straining for a sign of anything. Silence. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe I was just exhausted, overthinking things. But the next night, it happened again. Louder, almost deliberate. I knocked back. At first, nothing. Then, another knock. But this time, it was different. It was harder. It was waiting. I froze. My heart raced. I wasn't alone. Someone or something was on the other side of that wall. The knocking didn't stop. But soon it wasn't just knocking. It was whispers, soft, barely audible, like they were coming from behind the wall, or perhaps from within it. I couldn't make out the words, but I felt them seep into my skin, like a cold hand brushing against my spine. Was someone living in there? Was there something hidden between the apartments? I asked my neighbor about it, my voice barely above a whisper. But when I mentioned 3B, her face strained of color. "You hear it too?" she whispered, her voice shaky. "No one talks about 3B. Don't ask. Just don't." Then she slammed the door in my face. I felt ridiculous, but something twisted inside me, something that urged me to dig deeper. That night, I did something I shouldn't have. I whispered back, trembling, "Who are you?" The answer came, cold, clear. "Come inside." It was a week later when I saw it, the door to 3B. It hadn't been there before. I was sure of it. But now it stood in the space where the wall had always been, its old wooden frame covered in deep claw-like scratches, the metal handle rusted and twisted. I stepped forward, a mix of dread and fascination pulling me in. My hand shook as I reached for the handle. The moment I touched it, I heard it. A whisper. "Don't open it." The voice was so close, I could feel the words against my skin. My instincts screamed at me to pull away, but instead I turned the handle. I should have run. I should have locked myself away and never looked back. But curiosity is a beast you can't control. I pushed the door open. The hinges groaned, protesting the motion. And when the door finally gave way, I was greeted by nothing but darkness. The air inside felt thick, dense, like it was suffocating me, pulling me in. My heart pounded in my chest as I stepped inside, the floor creaking underfoot. And then, the door slammed shut behind me. I whipped around, my breath catching in my throat. The door was gone. The hallway stretched on, impossibly long, as if I had stepped into another world entirely. I turned around again, my mind racing for a logical explanation. But the walls were different. The air was thicker, heavier, and the walls, they stretched endlessly, disappearing into the dark. Then I noticed them. Small, faint handprints smeared across the peeling wallpaper. Too small. Childlike. I stumbled back, panic rising in my chest. And then I heard it. Footsteps. Fast, shuffling. They were coming closer. I ran. I didn't think, didn't hesitate. I just ran blindly down the endless hallway. My breath came in short, frantic gasps. I ran until my legs burned, my chest aching for air. But no matter how far I went, the hallway stretched before me, impossible to escape. And then, I stumbled upon it. A dusty, yellowed newspaper clipping, half buried in the dirt. The headline froze me. "Family mysteriously vanishes from apartment 3B, no trace found." My blood ran cold. The very room I was trapped in had claimed a family decades ago. I could feel it then. The presence, behind me, close. A cold breath against my neck. "Join us." I didn't think. I just ran. My feet pounded against the floor, the walls seeming to close in on me. And then there it was, a door. A faint, ethereal glow emanated from the cracks around the frame. I didn't hesitate. I lunged at the door, twisting the handle with every ounce of strength I had left. The moment I did, the air exploded with deafening whispers. No, screams. A force, unseen, terrible, yanked me back, claws tearing into my skin. I threw myself through the door, praying it would end. I hit the floor of my apartment with a crash, gasping for air, my hands trembling uncontrollably. I was back. Or so I thought. I crawled to my feet, disoriented, but when I glanced into the mirror, my heart stopped. My reflection stared back at me, slightly delayed. And then, it smiled. I didn't. I moved out the next day, shaking from the horrors I'd witnessed. But sometimes, late at night, I check the online listings, just to see if 3B is still there. Apartment 3B is always available. but no one ever moves out. Not since the family vanished. If this story made you check your walls tonight, you're not alone. Subscribe to Behind the Mask for more terrifying stories hidden in plain sight. And remember, some doors are meant to stay closed.